Hello and welcome to the replay of this broadcast. This is Carmen Andrea Harris, the creator of redefiningwidowhood.com, certified grief counselor and certified life coach. You can learn more about me, redefining widowhood, and what I offer via redefiningwidowhood.com. So, welcome to those of you who are listening to this broadcast on the replay, which is the majority of you. I have not dropped a new podcast or audio episode in about 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. So I have been going through my own personal grief and healing journey, as we all are who have been on the journey of picking up the pieces of our lives after the death of our husband, after the death of what we imagine life would be like, after the death of just all the things, and learning how to continuously go with the ebbs and flows of this journey. So I have been in, I don't want to say a bit of a funk, but I've been in one of those seasons where it's like, okay, this is a new season for me. I don't really know what's going on. I feel like I have been going through like a metamorphosis and an evolution since, I mean, really the whole journey, these whole 5 years that I've been widowed, but definitely last year, maybe a little bit before the holidays, just going through some different changes, not really being able to put my finger on what was going on, but just knowing that God was doing something and something was going on within me, but not really knowing what was going on. So the title of this broadcast is entitled Grieving the Widowed Version of You. And I realized, which I didn't know until I was sitting in my quiet time with the Lord, that I was experiencing yet another form of grief. So I'm going to let you guys into just some very intimate moments in my journaling time with the Lord. And I journaled this on February the 10th, 2024. So in my journal, I wrote, from the moment Zachariah died, I took on widowhood as my identity, almost like it was a badge of honor, and made it into an idol, even. It was like I needed everyone to know that I was married and had a husband. But then he and it, my marriage, was suddenly taken away without permission, taken away without me relinquishing it or him. So, as a way to let people know that this was the case, I wore widowhood as a label, a form of reference, and a notification to let everyone know what once was. Even today, 5 years later, I am letting go of the remaining residue of widowhood. It is uncomfortable, unfamiliar, foreign, and scary for me to completely let go of widowhood and embrace singlehood. This is foreign territory that I don't want to be in, yet here I am. This is almost like day one of widowhood. I don't want to be here. I was brought here without permission. Now I'm forced to navigate this new terrain alone, no guidelines, no blueprint. And after I finished journaling, I wrote out a prayer to the Lord, just in my quiet time and my vulnerability, asking Him to take me by the hand and lead me and guide me through this season. Now, I know that all of us are at different junctures on this journey. Some of us embrace the term widow. Some of us have never wanted that label, never wanted anyone to call us that. However, for me, it was something that I embraced very early on, and I almost made it into, well, I had really made it into an idol. And one day, maybe 2 years ago, the Lord told me that I had made widowhood into an idol, the term widow into an idol, and that was not what He called me. So I essentially came out of agreement with the word, but for all intents and purposes and for context, I would refer to myself as a widow. And then just going through the journey, but maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was at church at a meeting for leaders, and something came up about an event for singles or something like that. And that was another thing for me in the past where I would always be, is almost as if I felt like I always had to stand up or defend widows or let people know that we existed. So out of habit, I was like, well, what about the widows? Like, and the lady who was sitting next to me, it was my first time ever meeting her at church, a member at our church. And she was like, what about the who? And I said, what about the widows? She was like, the widows? You're widowed? And I was like, yeah, I'm widowed. And she was like, well, you're single too. Now I'm 5 years into this journey. Had she said that to me maybe during the first few months, weeks, years, whatever, although, she didn't know how long I had been widowed, but had she said that to me years ago, I would have allowed offense to take over. However, she jarred something in me. I'm not going to say she triggered me because I wasn't offended, because I am 5 years into this journey, because I am internally going through a change and an evolution where I don't necessarily know if I consider myself widowed anymore. And I'm kind of tiptoeing into identifying as a single a single woman. So when she said that, it made me kind of reflect, like, well, am I still widowed? I know, technically I am still widowed because my husband died. I have not remarried. I'm not dating, haven't even entertained the thought of dating or even peeking my head out into the the dating arena. I don't even know how that's going to go. I don't want to think about all of that. But it made me think, like, am I embracing singlehood? Am I no longer widowed? Like, not by society standards, but just based upon the changes that are going on inside of me. Like, am I ready to embrace singlehood? Am I ready to entertain the thought of maybe going out on a date or an outing? It doesn't even have to be a date, but an outing maybe with a man. I don't know. So just the woman at church saying that, and it not triggering me or offending me like it would have years ago, it created I don't know, a series of events, a triggering of events within me that made me think about just how I don't necessarily feel so connected to the widowed version of me anymore. And I've been dealing with this for a few weeks and just kind of thinking about that along with other things. And 3 days after I wrote that journal entry, which was February the 10th, on February 13th, the Lord began to speak to me. And he was speaking to me about my purpose and what I'm called to do in terms of redefining widowhood and just in the area of grief. And the Lord spoke to me and he said, and I'm going to read again from my private notes with the Lord. And the Lord spoke to me and he said, you are battling with grief right now, stuck in between two worlds of who you used to be throughout the years and who you're becoming. You have to let all residue of who you once were go. You are not her anymore. You must grieve her, then release her. I'm doing a new thing in you. Step forward into the unknown as you rediscover, relearn, and recreate the new you. I am holding your hand. I will not leave you or forsake you. I am with you, daughter. I have not left you. I never will. My word is true. My word, the word over your life, is true. Go forth, daughter. Go forth, daughter. Go forth, daughter. And for those of you who journal and you hear from the Lord, and when you go through those periods where you feel off, you feel disconnected from yourself, you feel like, I don't really know what's going on, and then to receive a word from the Lord confirming or just telling you like what you're going through, it brought a level of comfort, but then it also brought a level of, wow, so now I have to go through yet another, I guess, journey of grief. I'm not even going to say a season, but another journey of grief. And it just made me realize that this entire journey, the widowhood journey, the journey of a spouse dying, the journey of that part of you who was married to your spouse dying too, and you having to embark upon a journey of constantly evolving and relearning and unlearning and grieving and healing and all of that. So here I am yet again having to go on a personal grief journey while also still being held accountable by the Lord to do what he wants me to do in this space. So I just wanted to share that experience with you. And then to also, because this is never really about me in the beginning, I felt like I was just venting and ranting and expressing myself, but it was really the Lord moving through me so that I could connect with those of you who would eventually find the videos and things of that nature. So allow for this broadcast to be maybe solace or encouragement to those of you who don't necessarily feel like you're so connected to that widow title anymore. Those of you who once were, and those of you who are in a season of, am I ready to possibly embrace being single? Am I ready to possibly embrace totally and 100% the fact that I am no longer married to my late husband? He's never coming back again. I am free to free to date, free to explore. And for those of you who are, and I believe it's the majority of you, those of you who are saved, who are Christian, you're saved. Like, it's different out here dating, from what I've heard. I still haven't like jumped off the porch yet or even peeked out around the corner, but from what I hear, like, it's different now. And then dating as a woman who is saved, who has different standards than the world, like, I don't even know what that entails. So I just had to, on the February 10th journal entry, I just had to pray and hand it over to the Lord. So I just want this to be, I don't know, a source of encouragement perhaps to those of you who may find yourself in the same season, who have not even entertained, dating anyone for however many years. Because for me, my life was turned upside down when he died. So, like, dating someone was not even a thought at any point in time. And even now, 5 years later, I'm still rebuilding my life. Like, uh in 2022, like, my daughters and I, we had a downsize in our living space. So I'm in yet another season where I am thankful for where we're at. However, there is more to be achieved. Like, we're in a space now where we had to downsize, but now, we are like on top of each other and wanting to move into a bigger space with more bedrooms, and I'm wanting to do different things. So just having, thinking about dating someone was not even a thought on my mind, and it's not really even a thought on my mind now, but just the reality of, I am a single woman now. And I think that may be the first time I've ever said that in 5 years. Like, I am a single woman now. Yes, technically my marital status is widowed, but I am a single woman. I am free to move about the cabin. So just kind of letting that resonate, along with the Lord still requiring what he's requiring of me in terms of my ministry, and then me wanting to better the lives of my children. And it's just a whole it's a whole lot. So I just wanted to get on here and to kind of share that, a bit of a rant, a bit of a vent, which is how this channel even started. So hopefully those of you who are in a space of just evolving or changing or embarking upon another journey of grief, separate from the death of your husband, I just want to encourage you to just surrender to the Lord, talk to him, seek him for guidance, for strategy. He knows when we're going through different things. He knows when we're frustrated. He knows when we want to quit. He knows when we are just confused and don't really know what's going on and we're trying our hardest. So allow for this to be an encouragement for you to be vulnerable before him and to open yourself up to a new season and new possibilities. So again, this is Carmen Andrea Harris of Redefining Widowhood. I know this may seem like a bit of a rant or a ramble, but when you're listening to this, if you connect or resonate with anything that I said, or if you find yourself in a season, a new season outside of the widowhood season, like a season where you're embarking on something new, but you're still kind of hesitant, I would love for you to share it with me in the comments. Also, if you go to my website, redefiningwidowhood.com, you'll be able to learn about the different resources and the counseling options that I have to help you through whatever season you may be going through on your journey. So thank you so much for tuning in, catching this on the replay. Like, subscribe, share, and leave me a comment in the comment section to let me know if you resonated with any of this or what season you may be going through in your widowhood. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all on the next one.